You can never regret to be honest, you know, even if you don't look so good by being honest. And so now I realize that the most important thing for me to do is to go back on brand. And the brand is about celebrating freedom, empowering women, and inspiring confidence.
So you've always said that you see your brand as an empowerment brand.
Well,
what do you mean by it?
First of all, when I started, nobody talked about brands. I was 22, and I wasn't sure when I started what I really wanted to do, but I knew the kind of woman I wanted to be, and I wanted to be empowered. I wanted to be a woman in charge. And it just so happened that the little dress, where I worked in the factory, that all got together, and that became my door. It's not like I sat there and I said, oh, I want to empower women. No, first I wanted to empower myself, and I did. And I did it through a dress. At a time, that was the liberation of women. It was the 70s, and that dress became the symbol, not just about my empowerment, but it became the symbol of liberation for women. If people ask me now, if you knew then what you know now, what would you have done? For years I didn't know what to answer. Now I would say, oh, I would have made a business plan. But then I'm thinking back, I don't think anybody would have done a business plan and imagine that in no time at all I was selling 25,000 dresses a week.
Well, you've been absolutely brilliant about reinvention. You know, every decade you've been reinventing, and you've had lots of changes sort of inside your brand, and you've just, in fact, named a new chief design officer. Tell me about this reinvention now. What's the next reinvention?
Oh my God, I hope I don't reinvent again. As a matter of fact, right now I am going back to the core. My goal right now for the next whatever many years I have left would be to really focus on women. My philanthropy, my relationship with women, you know, and inspire, you know, confidence.
Let's just talk about your own background. I mean, what were the early influences in your life that really gave you that confidence in the first place and have been the kind of lodestar for your whole career, really?
We have to go back to the war and think about this woman at age 22. She was arrested and she went to the concentration camp, and then the war ended and she weighed 49 pounds. And she went back to Belgium. Her fiancé came back and they got married, and the doctor said, okay, you can get married, but you can't have a child, because if you have a child, you won't survive and the child won't be normal. And 9 months later, I was born. And that was my mother. My mother was a tiger mom. She was really tough with me as a little girl. If I was afraid of the dark, she'd lock me in the closet, you know, and she was that kind of a mother. But she taught me that fear is not an option and that you have to take care of your life.
What sort of a little girl were you? Were you a shy child, or were you
not
always
shy at
confident?
all.
Never shy?
Never shy. I was born in Belgium, where every little girl has blonde, straight hair. And I had black curly hair, and I didn't look like anyone. And I did not like the way I looked at all. But I loved playing in front of my mother's mirror in her bedroom. I think it's from those games I did with my own image that I realized that I had complete control of myself, and that's the only thing that I would have ever complete control of.
And then, of course, you met Prince Diane Von Furstenberg when you were 18, and you said, the minute I knew I was about to be Egon's wife, I decided to have a career. I wanted to be someone of my own. Do you think, though, that drive would have always been there? I mean,
oh, no, the drive was there.
Yeah.
But when I got married to an aristocrat, a rich aristocrat from Europe, and I got married pregnant, clearly the whole world was going to think that I did it on purpose. So I had so much to prove.
Yeah, you sure did. And now, of course, you've been married to the media mogul Barry Diller for nearly 20 years, and you're both powerful philanthropists. I mean, there's your own DVF awards, but there's also many of the things you do together, like the High Line. How do you decide, the two of you, where you're going to put your investments?
In the family, it's not just Barry and I, but it's also the children. And we each have our own thing, and then we talk about it so that everybody's okay with it. The funny thing about Millennium Women, and one of the funny things is that I completely relate to them. The most important thing for them to know is that the most important relationship in life is the one you have with yourself. And therefore, the big thing is be in charge. In order to be in charge and to assume yourself, you have to be honest. In order to be honest, you can't be delusional. And it's a practice. It's an everyday practice. You can't be delusional, but by the same time, you have to like yourself.
Diane, thank you so much. Oracle, you always are. Thank you.